Hey, beautiful soul, welcome to another episode of Becoming a Powerhouse Brand. I am coming on today mid-summer holidays with the kids, and I'm actually a bit late recording this because normally I would have published this at midnight on today is the 14th of August, which is a Thursday. My podcasts go live every week at midnight on a Thursday. So I am definitely late getting this one done. I'm recording it on the day it goes live. Because I've basically been really embracing my line two, which is the hermit in my brain is not working. I've had so much time off, it's just not activated at all yet. Possibly not the best day to record an episode, but here we are. My line two, which is the hermit in my human design, and I am so enjoying taking a step back from my business over the summer and just enjoying spending time with family. And we have been, I say, like relaxing and taking a step back, we have been in full force doing a massive garden upgrade. So it has been a lot of work. I'm a generator, so obviously if I'm not being busy, like it's just not me. I love to be busy. I love to keep myself busy, but doing things that light me up. Like I've been really leaning into my sacral over the last few months, and the things that I've noticed happening, the shifts, like both personally and in my business, have been huge. Like the opportunities that have come my way, the things I've been invited to, just from me really focusing on me and doing things that feel like in alignment. And this is the work I do with my clients, is really helping them to prioritize themselves, to show up in a way that feels really good to them, so that you can be your best version of yourself when you are promoting your business. Because when you're ever coming from lack and scarcity, things feel so hard, it feels so challenging. And that is kind of what I wanted to talk about in today's episode, is how I've gone from that constant self-doubt to feeling the sort of aligned empowerment. Like aligned power is so key when it comes to being a leader. And I just want to highlight something as well, because as a generator, I'm always on the go. And I've always been that person, even when I was employed, that I would prioritize work over everything, basically. I would always be that person that would do the overtime. I'd always be the one volunteering to get in early, to stay late, sometimes not even getting paid for that extra work. But I was always just like a sort of high achiever. I really wanted to get that, oh, well done, Jackie, you've done a really good job. Like I liked that praise from people. So I went above and beyond for everything. Didn't always get thanks for it, but that was always me. It was always me to be in on mode. And even in my business, it was very hard for me to switch that off, because it's been so ingrained in me that if you work hard, you'll be successful. If you work hard, you'll get paid. If you work hard, you're doing a good job. So I just had in my head that as a generator, that work hard meant giving my everything away to everyone, giving my power away and being in on mode all the time. And what this summer has really highlighted for me is being in on mode doesn't mean being in on mode for business. It just means that I can be in on mode, but doing things that really light me up in all areas and allowing myself to take a step back from my business. And I think there's a lot of leaders that will kind of tell you that if you are taking a step back from your business, that you're going to lose the momentum, that you're dropping the ball, that you're not going to be visible, that blah, 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 all these different things. You are allowed to take time off. Like I am fully embracing my line two in my human design by switching back. I purposely blocked out my summer with no client work. And actually, I went against that for one client whose website I'm working on at the moment, but we're doing it in a way that feels really good to me, feels really good to her. So I'm just doing it ad hoc over the summer holidays, and she's my only client I'm actually working with over the holidays. So I've basically got 6 weeks off. And bar the odd bit of content that I've been creating, because I have been consistent in terms of showing up, I've not completely gone off grid, but it just means I've not got any pressure on whatsoever. I have launched 2 new things over the summer holidays. I've launched my brand new journal. I've launched my brand new group program. I'm really excited about both of them, but I've done it in a way that is really leaning into my feminine energy and trusting that the right people are going to be in the program, knowing that this is the most aligned offer I've ever put out there, knowing that every single person that comes in this program is going to get the results. Because every single client I've worked with, when we've had the sort of follow-up call in terms of what they've got from it, they've always had results. I've got 100% success rate with my clients, because my client success is so important to me. I almost take that on as myself, and that's perhaps something I need to work through, because I get so committed to each individual client to help them shift their reality, that it becomes kind of my own sort of challenge in itself. But to me, the results that my clients get is important. I want my clients to win. I want them to shift their identity. I want them to help them to call in their vision, the things that they really desire in their life. It's so important to me. So I think the journey that I've been on has been huge in terms of my own growth. And I am going to hold my hands up and admit that a lot of my clients, I would say, have become more successful than myself, purely because their mindset, their nervous system, everything was regulated in a way that they were allowing themselves to call in the things that they desired. When actually, this has been a huge learning curve that I've had to go through myself, is really understanding that actually my nervous system wasn't prepared to take on the success. I had my highest cash month in business earlier this year, and it was gone within 24, was it 40 hours? I think it was 24 hours gone. Because my nervous system wasn't prepared to hold it. And this is work that I've been having to do on myself, is really helping my mindset, my limiting beliefs, my nervous system, everything, helping myself to regulate that actually I am so worthy of success. And actually, one thing that I've really got to understand is a lot of the limiting beliefs that I've had haven't even been mine to have. They've been experiences, beliefs, thoughts, just everything that have actually come from generational, not even trauma, but generational beliefs, because we all inherit beliefs from our past as well. So a lot of the things that can actually hold us back in our businesses might not even be from our own experiences. They can actually be passed on from past generations, past lives. And that is so interesting for me, because I've got one side of the family that I didn't know at all and still don't really know. And some of the things that have come up through like therapy sessions, healing sessions that I've had, have been experiences that have opened up from people I don't even know. Like they've literally been me sort of almost being in that moment and feeling the trauma that certain people went through. So I want you to really know that if you ever feel like things are spiraling, like you're, no matter how hard you're trying, you're not getting the results and you feel like you're on this hamster wheel, know that that was me for so long in my business. Know that this work, prioritizing yourself, working on your mindset, working on your nervous system, it is so, so key for you moving forward. And you're not that person that's not getting the results. And I just want to tell you something today, because I had an amazing call with an amazing coach who I really respect. And my exact words to her when she pitched her program to me was, the words that I said to her was, you don't want me in your program because I'm that nightmare client. I literally said those words to her. And I saw myself as a nightmare client because I wasn't getting the results that other people did. I was that person feeling frustrated. I was that person in tears because no matter how hard I tried, I was trying to do all of these different things. And it just didn't feel like I was growing at the pace of everybody else around me. And that is so frustrating, especially somebody that is very driven like myself. I'm an Aries. I am a leader, like my line 6 role model, like everything in me is here to lead, to show others like the way. And yet couldn't seem to break through and get the success that I wanted. And I could not for the life of me figure out what it was. I was like, I'm showing up. I've got the amazing offers. My clients are getting incredible results. I'm amazing at showing up like with confidence. I've got the brand, like everything was there. I had all the automations. I'd invested in myself. I'd done everything in terms of scaling my business. Everything was there ready. The thing that was holding me back was me. It was literally my own nervous system, my own mindset. And this is when my spiritual journey began, when I really started to tap into who I am and understanding myself on a soul level. And I actually paused from making any other investments in support, because what I needed to do was to really understand who I am so that I could then make the correct choices for me in a way that felt good. And actually saying no to things, even though they might have that really big shiny, oh, we're going to help you get these results and this is exactly what you need right now. In my soul, I knew that it wasn't the right time. And that wasn't me sort of holding myself back or having fear. It was more of I'm allowing myself this space to really get in tune with who I am and understand like what I'm trying to achieve. Like, what is it that's holding me back? Uncovering all the limiting beliefs and working through them. And something that I have started to understand a lot more is the people that have an older soul, so your soul has been here for longer than other people, you have more limiting beliefs, more mindset blocks, more resistance internally than those that have a newer soul, which is why a lot of people in the kind of where I am, a lot of us will become our most successful in our 40s, 50s, and above. Because what we need to be doing in this period of our lives is actually learning, experimenting, failing, like doing all of these things that will help us to grow. And then things like shift. And I have definitely noticed that shift in the last, I would say, the last 6 months. Certainly, as I approach closer to 40, things have really been moving for me. And I can only put that down to the fact that I really know who I am. Like, I love who I am as a person. I'm so confident in who I am on a soul level. And this is the work that I do for my clients, because now that I know who I am, it means I know which choices are right for me. I can feel in my gut, in my sacral, when something is a hell yes, or when it's a not right now or a hell no. In which case, if it's a not right now or a maybe, it's a not right now. It has to feel like a full body hell yes for me in my human design, to know that I'm taking the right next step and that the person that I'm working with is the right fit for me, because not every coach is going to be the right person for you. You'll always gain from working with any kind of coach, or I certainly have. Every coach I've ever worked with has helped me in some capacity, whether it is my mindset, whether it is my business growth, like whether it is helping me to identify my USP, whether it is helping me with my offers. I've always had a return of investment, but I may not have achieved things that I really wanted to in terms of the results I was hoping for. And that is where, like, doing this work has really helped those things to shift. I mean, the fact that I've actually taken 6 weeks off for the summer, this is the first time I've ever done that, ever, because I've always been juggling my business, because I always had that fear of, but if I slow down too much, things aren't going to grow. And I can tell you now, my audience is growing every single day. I've tripled my mailing list in the last 2 months alone. And I've completely switched off, well, not completely, but I've switched off loads. I'm posting less, I'm being less visible, but I'm using content in long form content, short form content. I am using various platforms that feel good to me, that I know will work for my business long term. And this is the work that I do with my clients. It's about the long term visibility strategies as well as what works right now in the here and now, because that is my background. Like visibility, your content being visible online, your brand presence, the alignment piece, like that is all what I have always done. Like, I've worked in this world for 2 decades. Like, I know this inside out, and I'm always consistently growing and learning and seeing what else is changing. So even in terms of things like website design, now we haven't just got SEO that helps you get visible in terms of search results on Google. We've also got GEO, which is helping you to be visible on AI tools, because so many people are now using AI like ChatGPT to get advice on like their next steps, to get support on what investments to make or how to scale their business. They're actually asking AI for help as much as they're asking coaches. So if you're not being visible on Google searches as well as in AI searches, then you're going to find that your competition will be the ones that will be put in front of your ideal client. So this work is so powerful. And this is what I mean about constantly investing in your growth and learning your skill set so that you can help your clients better. Like, things are always changing and evolving. And just to touch briefly on marketing strategies change all the time, which is why when I have any of my programs, I don't believe in having libraries of trainings for people to watch, because of the niche that I'm in with brand visibility marketing. It changes at such a fast pace that I would be constantly having to update my trainings. And also, I'm one of those people that will forget what trainings are even there. So if I had a library of trainings, what I don't like the idea of is having something that might be potentially out of date. Like, I don't want to give anybody false information. I'm constantly learning and looking at what is working in terms of the online space now and what is going to be working going forward. I'm always looking at that next thing, which means that when I can support my clients live, real time, remotely, through like Telegram support, Voxer, Zoom conversations, that works so much better for me and my clients than me having a library of videos that I know full well the majority of people won't have the time to watch, because it's never a priority. I'm exactly the same. When I join a program and one of the perks is you've got a whole library of all these different trainings, the reality is I'm probably never going to watch them. So for me to run a program, it's just not a selling point for me. So it's not something I'm including in my She Who Roars program. And I just want to touch on how, when I said that to this coach with, you don't want me in your program, I'm that nightmare client, what I was actually saying was I wasn't worthy. I actually believed at that point when I was saying that I wasn't worthy of the success, that I wasn't capable of the success, that it wasn't destined for me. And that's really sad for me to think about now, because I was trying so hard. I was trying so hard at that point in my business. And I know somebody that is listening to this today will be in that stage now where they're doing all the things. They've maybe even invested a lot of money in support, in doing the courses. They've done all the offers. They've done the automation. They've got all this stuff there. And for some reason, you feel like things aren't shifting and you're left feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, like it's just not made for you. And I want you to hear this from me now, as someone that has gone through this work, come at the other side, and now attracts people into my space, the opportunities that come into my world. Because when you start focusing on you, things do start to shift. It's the law of attraction. Like when you can put out good energy, you're going to attract good energy. So if you're feeling in lack, in frustration, in overwhelm, in exhaustion, in all of those things, what you're going to be attracting to you is exactly that again. More of that. You attract more of what you're putting out there. So if you're putting out frustration, you're going to get frustration, which is why working on your internal world, and this is why I've launched my new journal, because I want to help with these daily tools. And I will put the link in below for anyone that wants to go and grab their copy of my journal, which came out yesterday. I've done it as a very kind of like behind the scenes launch, didn't do a big thing about it at all, but I really wanted to create a journal that was going to help people with daily prompts to track your well-being, track your mindset, to make sure that you are prioritizing yourself each day, as well as keeping on top of your projects and being realistic with your goals. Because being realistic with your goals each day is only going to set yourself up for success. When you start to put too much on your plate, what you're going to find is when you have days where you're just not feeling it and you're trying to force getting those things done, you're going to end your day feeling frustrated that you didn't tick everything off. And then that's already setting you up for like almost a failure for the following day. So the journal that I've created is about really helping you to shift things internally to help you shift things externally, because it always starts with the internals. The shame and the questioning your worth, it all starts to click into place when you can prioritize yourself. And the moment that I realized that it wasn't because at the time when I had these beliefs, I truly, honestly believe, and I would hold my hands up, that it was actually the programs that I'd invested in and the coaches I'd invested in that were like just not the right fit. And actually, I don't think it wasn't a fact that they weren't the right fit. I think it was just I didn't know who I was when I made those investments. I was so lost in who I was that I was looking for external validation. I was looking for external support. I was looking for that quick fix to help me shift my reality, because I was in that place of frustration, overwhelm. I needed something to work. I'd been in business too long for it to not be working already, because I was seeing new people come into the online space, scaling to that huge sort of 6-7 figure mark in record timing with a fraction of the expertise that I had. And it was just overwhelming that I just couldn't seem to be getting anywhere close to the goals that I had. The nervous system work that you do is so important, because if your nervous system isn't prepared to hold those things on your vision board, no matter how hard you try, how much work you put in, how many launches you do, it is not going to happen. You have to prioritize rewiring your subconscious and making it safe for you to achieve the things that you want. So let me just give you an example. Let's just say your vision was you wanted to hit consistent 10K months. You wanted to have quadrupled your audience size. Maybe you don't have a mailing list now and you would love a mailing list size of 5,000 people. Let's just say that's on your vision board. They are your goals. If any part of your nervous system feels like that's unsafe, if your nervous system feels that having that many people in your world feels uncomfortable, not safe, that it's a threat, your brain is going to do everything in its power to stop that happening, to self-sabotage, to like have the procrastination. All of these things will creep in because it's literally holding you back from making that your reality because it's not safe. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. So if any part of your vision board that you have, no matter how much you might think you want those goals, if any of that doesn't feel safe to your nervous system, you are going to self-sabotage at every single opportunity. So working on your own internal world, working on your nervous system, working on your soul's purpose, really identifying who you are, your subconscious beliefs, then you really need to start doing this work because this is going to dictate your reality. And when you can start believing that you are so worthy, when you can start showing up with the energy that makes you magnetic for the things you're calling in, that is when things will start to shift. And this is not about shouting louder. This is why I named my program She Who Roars, because the lion, the tigress, like they do not roar for attention. It's not about shouting louder. It's about being seen, heard, and felt. It's about being felt through your energetic field, with when you walk into a room that people can feel your energy, which is what people had always said to me, apart from in this stage when I was going through this kind of like self-lack, like I just didn't have any belief in myself. When you can start to shift that, your reality will shift as well. And aligned branding is not just strategy, it's an embodiment. It's about you becoming the version of you who already has the things you're calling in. And I was constantly showing up in the past of the version of myself I thought I needed to be to show up as the professional, to show up as the person I thought my clients needed. And the other thing I can tell you for a fact is no matter how much work you do on who your ideal client is, until you do the internal work on you and you start to really understand who you are on a soul's level, knowing who your ideal client is, it's not going to be deep enough. I thought I knew who my ideal client was. I had done all the work. I'd spent so much time working on my ideal client profile, constantly upgrading that. Every time I upgraded my branding, like everything had shifted when I upgraded my offers. I was always working on my ideal client, really tapping into who she was, where she hung out, what she did for work, like what kind of background she had, did she have family, all of this stuff. But it was only when I'd done the work on myself and really got to know who I am that I suddenly realized, oh, okay, that's not my ideal client. This is my ideal client. So when you start to do this work on you, it shifts so many things in your reality and your business and your life because things just suddenly make sense. You start to see the resistances you've had, you start to see the blocks you've had, why things weren't working in the past. And now I've worked through all this stuff, I can now see back to patterns that I was in, through cycles that I was constantly going through over and over and over again without even realizing at the time, because now I know how to take aligned action moving forward. And I have never felt more confident in my business, in my life. I've never felt more aligned. I've never been able to take this much time off of any kind of work in my entire life and still know that it's all working out because I trust, I believe. Your belief in yourself is such a powerful thing. And if you don't have that, how can you expect your dream clients to believe that you are the right fit for them? You have to have that self-belief, that self-trust to know that it's going to work. And also, if you are ever in lack, what I don't want you to think is, okay, if I buy this program, it's going to fix everything. If I invest in this coach, like everything's going to suddenly shift into place. Because when your nervous system isn't prepared to call in the things that that coach or that program is promising, you're going to self-sabotage. You need to work on the internal work. Now, I'm not saying don't invest in that coach, don't invest in that course. What I'm saying is you need to be doing the internal stuff. And I don't just mean mindset, I mean real embodiment, really like being self-aware, allowing yourself space to think, to breathe, to identify who you are, understand who you are on a soul level, alongside working with the coach or the course, because you can't have one without the other. Well, you can have the internal work stuff, but I wouldn't invest in business growth stuff until you've done this internal work, because the internal work, then going into the business growth, you are going to find your results will come so much faster. I promise you. And do not compare your start or where you are now to somebody else's highlight reel, because remember, everything you see online is normally the highlights. Very few people actually share the lows. And I can tell you now, every single person you see who is thriving, who has the success, who shares the screenshots of their bank balance, who has all of this wealth, everything is happening, they have gone through lows. They've gone through multiple fails. They have tested, they've experimented, they've done the hard stuff to get to where they are now. Until you do the hard stuff, you're not going to be able to get to the good stuff. You have to experience and experiment with things, because growth doesn't come from staying in your comfort zone. You know this already. So I want you to take away from this episode that most leaders you see online fail more times than they succeed. You just don't see it. And business becomes so much easier when you believe that you are worthy, when you focus on what you do want, and when you align your offers, your business, your daily actions with your soul. And older souls might have more to clear, to work through, but it is possible. And I'm going to invite you to DM me if you want to hear exactly what I did to shift this, if you want to have any insights in how I can help you, or even just some tips that you can action yourself to shift your current reality. If you feel like things aren't working, I just want to invite you to send me a DM, because I am always available to answer any questions. And for anybody that feels like you're ready to take that next level, if you feel like you're ready to do that work on showing up as your most aligned, confident version of yourself, then you definitely want to dive into my group program, which has just launched. And this is for those who are really ready to rise as that golden phoenix, to really emerge as that empowered, aligned leader that you already are, that is aligned to the results you're already creating for your clients and the impact you're here to create. It is called She Who Roars. And if you would like to find out more, there is the link below to the sales page. Or again, you can drop me a DM with any questions you might have. This is all about bringing your brand into alignment with where you're going, not where you've been. Because what we don't want when you're scaling is for anything to be holding you back energetically. And that's exactly what an outdated brand can do for your business. It can hold you back. The freedom that you desire, the results that you desire, is so worth every single ounce of the work that you put into yourself. So if you are feeling like things are hard at the moment, I just want you to know that you can absolutely turn things around. I'm here when you're ready. And if you already know that you're ready and you want to have a conversation about joining me inside She Who Roars for 6 months, I want to help you to triple or more your audience size. I want to help you to increase your income. I want to help you to stand out as the one, because you already know you're amazing at what it is that you do. It's just bringing your brand into alignment so that you become an instant yes for your dream clients when they find you. Because remember, some of your dream clients have never even heard of you. What if that next piece of content you share is your absolute dreamboat client? Are they going to instantly say yes and want to binge watch the rest of your content? Or are they going to miss it and scroll past because it's just not standing out? It's not aligned to who you are as that aligned leader. I want you to think about that today. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll be back for another episode next Thursday.